Well, the Democrats continue to tighten their grip on MLK's legacy. Now on MLK Day, we won't just remember him. Now that day is going to be used to remind us that the Democrats elected the first black president for 2 terms to boot. And the Republicans are helping this stuff happen. It's like the Republican Party is committing suicide by swallowing a bunch of bullets instead of taking one to the brain.
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
What is a Republican? A Republican understands that we enjoy a constitutional republic. A Republican understands that upon your creation, you have the God-given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. A Republican understands that we have the right to protect our God-given rights, whether it's from government trying to intrude upon these rights or any person in general. A Republican understands that the government's job is to also protect our God-given rights, not provide for us. These are the basics of conserving our republic. Thus, if you understand this, you're a conservative Republican. Freedom can and is being exploited and depleted by liberal interpretations of the Constitution. The Republicans' job is the conservation of our republic against the Democrats' perversion of it. That's not rhetoric. The Democrats believe we live in a democracy. We don't. We live in a constitutional republic. And the Democrats pervert what that is to make people believe we live in a democracy. This is what happens when people take liberties with what the Constitution says, as I've said in my audiobook, Weapon of Mass Destruction. But the conservation effort of our republic is failing. Republicans have lost sight of what made our party great. And not only have they let the Democrats define who Republicans are, they're letting the libertarians replace who they are. Republicans were the party of Lincoln. Many libertarians hate Lincoln. They consider Lincoln a war criminal and a tyrant. Many libertarians are sympathetic with the Confederacy. So when libertarians call us Republicans neocons, as in neoconservatives, and it's not even clear what that means, and I'm pretty sure the libertarians will give their version of what that means, you can call that libertarian a neocon too, as in a neoconfederate, as Mark Levin does. And it's very clear what that means. What's sad to me is that Republicans are made to feel obligated to make this allegiance with libertarians. A libertarian is basically a liberal that hates taxes. Like I said, many of them hate Lincoln and charge him with intruding on states' rights, while these libertarians ignore the human rights that were being intruded on in the first place in the individual states. If states' rights means more to you than God-given human rights, then you have a problem. And these states' rights zealots only see Lincoln as this monster who intruded with the federal government. The federal government has no business intruding on our slave business. If you're violating the supreme law of the land and infringing on another person's God-given rights, yes, that is the business of the federal government to get involved. Republicans, people think you're racist. And when you have Confederate sympathizing libertarians pressing you to make an allegiance with them, you will not shake the racist stigma on you. They are a big part of the reason why liberals think there was a big party switch, because these Confederate sympathizing libertarians mostly vote Republican. Libertarians are proud of who they are, and that's fine. But if that's the case and y'all are so great, then stand on your own and quit leaning on Republicans. Let us conservatives be conservatives and libertarians be libertarians. I'm not trying to say I don't want nothing to do with y'all. I'm saying it's y'all trying to push up in the Republican tent, not Republicans trying to push up in the libertarian tent. And being that you're trying to push up into our tent, don't try to make us change to suit you as if we were in your tent. That's what liberals do. I'm AlfonZo Rachel with ZoNation, and I party with Lincoln, that man who's thought of by libertarians as a monster because he stopped other monsters from enslaving people in their states. The man who's accused of wanting a big centralized government. Really? If Lincoln really wanted a big centralized government, he could have done that without ending slavery. In fact, it would have been much easier. He even said it. But the bottom line is, he wanted to put an end to the Confederacy using their so-called states' rights to intrude upon human rights. The federal government has no business intruding on our slave business.